The wait for Season 6 of The Chosen is almost over, and during a recent live stream, we got an early look at some powerful behind-the-scenes moments that nobody has seen before. What was revealed might just be some of the most emotional, intense, and thought-provoking scenes in the entire series so far. Today, we're going to walk through every single detail from that live stream, step by step, and break down what these scenes could mean for Season 6 and beyond. And trust me, some of this is going to leave you speechless. Let's dive in. We begin with one of the desert scenes filmed earlier in Utah. At first glance, it looks simple, but there's more to it. This moment strongly hints at the return of Moses. Why? Because the actor who plays him was spotted in that very filming area, posting about his location at the time. That matches perfectly with what we're seeing here. Even more interesting, during the live stream, Dallas accidentally mentioned seeing multiple scenes with Moses. Now, was this a slip of the tongue or an intentional tease? Either way, it suggests Moses may play a role in Season 6. That possibility alone is exciting, considering how powerful his brief appearance was in Season 1. Then the scene shifts. Thomas appears in an outfit we've seen him wear before, and suddenly Pilate is standing in front of Joanna. That alone raises questions. What exactly is happening in this lineup? Right after, we see something dramatic. An object thrown from what looks like the temple area, while the camera shakes violently. This seems to represent the earthquake near the end of Jesus' life, when the temple itself begins to break apart. The falling bricks, the dust, the chaos, it's all pointing to that climactic moment. Next, we catch a glimpse of the women holding torches. At first, it feels puzzling, but considering the burial table scene during filming, this likely shows the women preparing Jesus for burial. The torches could mean the scene is set at night, later adjusted in post-production to reflect the darkness of that hour. It fits the somber tone of what's coming. Not long after, the tension spikes. Peter raises his sword, ready to cut off Malchus's ear. We've heard this moment discussed before, but now we're seeing it unfold. Roman soldiers push their way through, as the story races toward the arrest of Jesus. Herod appears wearing the same robe that Jesus will later wear. During his trial and crucifixion, a chilling foreshadowing of what lies ahead. Then something fascinating happens. A close-up shows a character we can't quite identify. Is it Eden without her head wrap, or perhaps a young man? The lack of clarity creates intrigue, leaving fans debating who this person is and why they're placed here. Moments like this keep us guessing, building anticipation for the full reveal. We then move to Pilate standing before the crowd. Jesus is visible, unscarred and unwhipped, brought forward for the people to decide his fate. Should he be freed or crucified? The scene swells with tension as familiar faces appear in the crowd. Shula, Gera, Rabbi Benjamin, and even characters from past seasons. This layering of continuity makes the trial scene feel vast and overwhelming, as if everyone we've met has converged in this pivotal moment. Another detail emerges: crosses being raised. Not the ones meant for Jesus and the two thieves, but others. This looks like an expository moment showing how crucifixion was carried out. Ropes pull arms into position as soldiers prepare the condemned. Historical debates exist about whether every crucifixion involved nails or sometimes just hanging. But here, The Chosen consistently portrays nails being used. It's a brutal reminder of the reality of Roman execution. The live stream then shows Jesus arrested near Caiaphas's palace, escorted by temple guards and watched by Atticus and Yanni. Special effects with fire heighten the tension of the night arrest, contrasting with later quiet moments of despair. From there, the focus shifts to Italy. The city of Matera becomes the stage for the crucifixion itself, the same place where the Passion of the Christ was filmed. Seeing this location used again brings a sense of weight and gravity, as though history is repeating itself through these reenactments. At this point, a major reminder is given: funding is still needed to bring Season 6 to completion. The finale alone carries a staggering cost of $30 million. So far, $21 million has been raised, leaving about $8 million still required. This finale won't just be another episode. It's planned as a feature-length film set to release at Easter 2027. Covering the crucifixion in such scale demands immense resources, from post-production to theatrical distribution. Back to the behind-the-scenes. We see the crown of thorns painted with blood. It's a haunting image, though Dallas has said the violence will be toned down compared to the Passion of the Christ. Expect intensity, perhaps a 6 out of 10 on the scale of brutality, but not overwhelming gore. Mother Mary appears with Yusuf and John. Their presence foreshadows the burial preparations. Yusuf in particular seems to have a larger role this season, showing up in multiple key moments. Nicodemus also makes a surprising return. After being scarcely seen in Season 5, his presence in Utah, Texas, and Italy suggests he may be central to Season 6's story arc. Another striking moment comes when Judas takes a rope from a vendor without paying. Anyone familiar with Scripture immediately knows what this symbolizes. It's a chilling foreshadowing of his death by hanging. Seeing it portrayed this way hits hard. It's a visual shorthand for the tragedy about to unfold. We then see Eden breaking down in Peter's arms, Mary Salome nearby. The grief is almost tangible. Jesus appears before Pilate again, now clothed in the robe given by Herod, while illegal trials pass him from one leader to another. Each scene adds weight to the growing sense of inevitability. A drone shot reveals what looks like a tent city, perhaps outside Jerusalem, maybe even near a cemetery. Barnaby, Shula, and others gather there at night. Remember, Season 6 spans only 24 hours, the final day of Jesus' life, so much of the action takes place in darkness. Simon the Zealot runs through the streets, Mary Magdalene behind him while others gather, trying to protect the women. Matthias rides a horse, possibly carrying urgent news. Meanwhile, Nathanael and Andrew peer out a window, likely from the upper room. Claudia, Pilate's wife, is shown distraught, haunted by visions. Will this drive her toward belief? The possibility remains open. The apostles scatter. Peter and John are closest to Jesus after his arrest, following him into town. Dallas directs young actors in moments reminiscent of Season 1, echoing back to the show's beginnings. Jesus appears in the desert again. Could this tie to Moses or another Old Testament figure? Ambiguity fuels speculation. Meanwhile, Matthew steps up as a leader among the apostles, a surprising character shift that could reshape dynamics. Claudia pleads with Pilate to keep his promise, her words unclear but desperate. "Keep your promise or he'll die," she begs, perhaps referring to Jesus. These glimpses suggest a deeper exploration of Pilate and Claudia's relationship. Scenes of crucifixion multiply, though not all focus on Jesus. Roman executions were common, and showing others broadens the picture of this brutal practice. Judas is shown betraying Jesus again, while Mary rushes toward her arrested son, only to be stopped by Simon Z. The anguish in her face, the helplessness, it's raw and human. Later, the cast comforts each other between takes. A skull on the ground appears, symbolizing Golgotha, the place of the skull. Mother Mary reaches for Jesus again as he carries the cross, surrounded by crowds shouting for his death. Judas, meanwhile, appears in Italy, marking his role in the events that unfold there. The crosses on the hill come into focus. This is the centerpiece, Jesus and the two thieves, crucified at the heart of Matera. The camera pans to the city, linking the present with biblical history. Herod Antipas's throne room scenes play out, with Herod mocking Jesus, robe in hand, while Herodias appears briefly. Other characters prepare for their roles. Thomas wrestles with his depression, yet finds strength to comfort others. Judas confronts priests, throwing back his 30 pieces of silver. His fury and despair paint the picture of a man consumed by regret. Conflict among the apostles erupts. Tensions boil as they argue, perhaps over what to do next. Even here, the bonds of brotherhood are tested. Dallas directs Herod with fiery intensity, urging him to project arrogance and scorn. Little James whispers, "It's going to be bad," capturing the dread sweeping over them all. Peter and Judas finally meet in a face-to-face scene full of dramatic weight. What will pass between them? We can only speculate, but the moment promises to be unforgettable. As the rain pours down on set in Texas, cast and crew adapt to the challenges. Water buckets line the area as they fight to preserve the sets. Even in these conditions, the work continues, underscoring the dedication poured into this season. Soon, we see Veronica with Eden, Peter and John near Caiaphas's court, and Mary Magdalene close by. Judas reunites with his sister before his final act, giving an emotional twist to his story. Thunderstorms rage, but the production endures. Finally, we witness the good thief declaring Jesus as the Christ. His faith, even on the cross, becomes a shining moment in the darkest hour. The crowd gathers. Hundreds of extras fill the scene, Roman guards holding back the chaos. Barabbas stands freed, chosen over Jesus, while the crowd cries for crucifixion. As the live stream closes, the weight of everything seen lingers. Betrayal, sacrifice, despair, and hope, all packed into a single day of storytelling. And this is only the glimpse we've been given. The full impact of Season 6 is still ahead, but one thing is clear. It will be the most powerful and emotional season yet.